In a world where success is often painted as instant, we forget the power of daily discipline. This is the story of Daniel, a boy who refused to let poverty define his future. A boy who learned that one step at a time can change everything. Daniel was born into struggle. The third child in a family of 5, he grew up in a small house where food was never enough, where school fees were always uncertain, and where dreams were often mocked before they could even take shape. His father worked from dawn till night, yet the family could barely survive. His mother stretched every coin as far as it could go, but the needs were always greater than the money. Most mornings, Daniel woke up to the sound of arguments, parents blaming each other for their misfortune, siblings crying for things they couldn't have. There was no peace, no encouragement, no space to dream. And yet, somewhere deep inside, Daniel carried a quiet determination. While other children played freely in the dusty streets, Daniel sat with an old notebook under the weak glow of a kerosene lamp. He wasn't the smartest in class, and he wasn't the strongest in the neighborhood. But he had something else, discipline. Every single day, he whispered to himself, one step. Just one step at a time. It wasn't easy. His friends laughed at him. His siblings called him strange, mocking the way he chose books over games. Even his parents, overwhelmed by poverty, shouted at him, "Books won't put food on this table." Their words cut deeper than hunger ever could. And many nights, Daniel cried in silence, wondering if they were right. There was even a night he almost gave up. The family had argued again. His father was shouting. His mother was in tears. His siblings had gone to bed hungry. And Daniel sat alone in the corner of the room, his books open before him but his eyes too wet to see the words. Tears rolled down his face as he whispered to himself, "Maybe they're right. Maybe all this effort is useless." For the first time, Daniel thought of closing his books forever. But in that darkness, in that heavy silence, a whisper rose inside him, "If no one believes in me, I will believe in myself." That single thought gave him the courage to rise again. From that day, Daniel pressed on. He woke earlier than the sun, studied harder than anyone else, and worked small jobs to save tiny coins. He fetched water for neighbors, carried loads in the market, polished shoes for strangers, anything to earn a little money for books. His hands were rough with labor, but his heart remained steady with discipline. Day after day, step after step, he walked a lonely road. At first, no one noticed. His progress was invisible. His sacrifices went unseen. But discipline has a way of making noise in silence. Slowly, the boy who once looked ordinary began to stand out. At school, teachers noticed his persistence. He was never the fastest learner, but he was the most consistent. His grades began to rise. His classmates, who once laughed at him, started asking for his help. His siblings, who once mocked him, began to watch in quiet respect. Even his parents, though still skeptical, could not ignore the change. Years passed. Daniel's efforts earned him a scholarship. The boy who once studied under a flickering lamp now studied under the bright lights of a university library. Still, he did not relax. He disciplined himself to learn more, digital skills, problem solving, leadership. While others wasted hours in distractions, Daniel invested every hour in his future. But success did not come overnight. There were setbacks. There were failures. There were exams he did not pass, opportunities that slipped away, and jobs that rejected him. Each time, Daniel felt the sting of defeat. Each time, he considered giving up. But then he remembered the whisper in his heart, one step at a time. And he moved forward. Opportunities that once felt impossible began to open. Slowly, the boy they laughed at became the man they respected. His friends, who once mocked him, now sought his advice. His siblings, who once called him strange, now followed his example. And his parents, who once shouted, "Books won't feed you," now lived in the house he built. With his first real income, Daniel sent his younger siblings to school. He rebuilt the broken home he grew up in, brick by brick, room by room. His mother wept as she stepped into her new kitchen. His father stood silently, hiding tears behind a proud smile. The boy who was once told he would never succeed had become the man who carried the entire family forward. And yet, Daniel never forgot where he came from. He knew his life was not built on luck or talent. It was built on discipline, the quiet steps no one claps for, the lonely nights no one sees, the daily decisions that feel small but grow into destiny. So remember this, you don't need to take a giant leap to change your life. You only need to take one step. And then another. And another. Because one step at a time is enough to move mountains. If Daniel's story touched your heart, let it be a reminder that your story is still being written. No matter where you are, no matter what you face, you can rise. Discipline may be quiet today, but tomorrow, it will speak for you. Subscribe, join this community, and let's keep walking together, one step at a time.